Whew. Another win, guys. Another win. Well, a good win. Um, some of y'all may not be super religious. I know I am not the most religious person there is. I have a lot of problems with religion in general, on to where it kind of makes people think, goes to. I feel like religions cause more harm than good in some cases, just due to the fact that is like the Muslims are a perfect example of this, where they pretty much do their warped view of their religion or the Quran is um, warping them to do horrendous things, and that's a religion that they're basing off of, regardless whether or not they're getting it right or wrong. A lot of religious things are what you would call, well, bad. Um, um, Most of the things that religion would put into place is something that you would just do normally. You wouldn't need to be taught. Your father or your family or where the artist would be still those values and those things into you that would already be what's right, instead of some religion telling you what to do. However, I digress. Let's get into the actual topic of the video. Abott signs religious freedom law prohibiting government from closing places of worship. Um, and I think this is a good move. You don't necessarily have to have be religious to be happy for this to happen. I want people to be able to have the freedom to do whatever they want, regardless of the situation. Well, maybe not regardless, but most situations, to have the freedom that they want to do, and I agree with this. It's kind of sad that we have to put in a law for this, even though the First Amendment kind of allows you to have freedom of worship, but it is what it is. At least this is a step in the right direction, and we will be able. It's a step in the right direction, and at least we will be able to have some laws protected. Now, this is happening in Texas. This is not necessarily happening in other states. So hopefully, some other states can follow suit, and take a point from Texas. Texas government Gregg Abott signed a new prohibiting government agencies and officials in the state from ordering churches and other houses of worship to close. The Lone Star State's governor announced the movie in a tweet on Tuesday, pledging that Americans' First Amendment freedoms would be protected in the state by prohibiting the government from issuing orders that close or have the effect of closing places of worship in the state. I just signed a law that prohibits any government agency or public official from issuing an order that closes places of worship, Abbott said in a tweet. The First Amendment right to freedom of religion shall never be infringed, he continued. And good on you, Abbott. It's nice to see that you're doing something good for the people, having their right to worship. Again, as I said, I'm not a super religious person, but everybody should have the right to do what they want to do. If religion is what keeps you at ease, keeps you at mind, then please do religion. It's not gonna harm me. I don't care what your beliefs are. As long as you're doing what you want to and you're happy with it, that's all fine by me. State Rep Scott Sanford, a Republican from the Dallas area, filed a bill, HB 1239, which states that a government agency or public official may not issue an order that closes or has the effect of closing places of worship in the state or in the geographic area of the state. Churches provide essential spiritual, mental, and physical support in the time of crisis, Sanford said about the bill, which passed the Texas House in April. Closing churches not only limited these critical ministries and services, but it violated their religious freedom guaranteed by our laws and Constitution. Agreed. Like I said, in our Constitution, you have the right for worship, and any state that prohibits you from doing that is violating the Constitution, the First Amendment. About 1 year ago, at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Abbott issued an executive order that shut down Texas, including houses of worship, as they were deemed non-essential. As a result of the order, the governor was sued and encouraged by faith leaders to reopen houses of worship across the state and categorize them as essential. Abbott later reversed the order, and as he should, because you shouldn't close down worship. You shouldn't close down anything that is in the First Amendment. Period. And doing that does warrant this. So good on to the people of Texas. Definitely a place I probably want to end up living someday, because it seems like they got a lot of head releases. Even though they make some errors. They're not perfect. They're definitely not perfect, but at least they're striving to be better. Correct the mistakes that they have done, and that's what you could really ask for a state. Really, correct the mistakes that they have made. Meanwhile, on Tuesday's Ruthless podcast, Abbott announced Texas would be completing the construction of the wall along the southern border and would be accepting public donations to fund construction. I will also be providing a link that you can click and go to. Blah 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 blah. They go to a fund in the state of Texas, not a private entity, not an individual. He added. They will be received by the state of Texas and the governor's office. Great transparency. Everyone will know every penny in and every penny out. But the sole purpose of those funds will be going to build the border wall. Good. Good. We need to be able to have that wall. Texas need to be able to protect themselves from, the encroaching, great old Mexican border that is encroaching onto our country, because our president doesn't think it would be a problem, especially our vice president, because good on them. But yeah, guys, small little video today. Finally, but yeah, nice to see Texas really going for our Constitution, helping to be able to keep the people of worship happy, and good on old Texas. All right, guys, if you liked the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hope I see you guys in the next video.